You are not tired. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are just distracted from your mission. This world will flood your mind with noise, doubt, fear, comparison, until you forget what you came here to do. But today, you remember, by the end of this message, your mindset will never be the same. Because I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to awaken you. You're on a bigger mission. Let's begin. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is your guide. It is the whisper of destiny disguised as pain. And yet most people run from it. They numb it. They avoid it. But what they fail to see is this. Discomfort is the signpost pointing directly toward growth, toward evolution, toward the higher version of yourself you've been asking for. When a seed breaks through the soil, it does not do so in silence or ease. It rips, it cracks, it breaks its shell in complete discomfort just to reach the sun. That seed doesn't know what light looks like. It has never seen warmth, but it pushes upward anyway. Why? Because growth demands friction. Without pressure, there is no expansion. You think you're off course when it gets hard, but that's not the truth. You're not off course. You're finally on it. Take Michael Jordan. Cut from his high school basketball team. That sting of rejection, it didn't end his mission. It ignited it. He didn't run from the discomfort. He buried himself in it. Stayed late in the gym. Took thousands of shots. And forged a mindset that would go on to dominate not just a game, but an era. His greatness was not born from his talent. It was born from his response to pain. Now let's talk about you. Every time life feels heavy, every time the anxiety creeps in when doubt pulls up a chair and sits at the table of your mind, that's not the time to fold. That's the signal. That's the gateway to the very transformation you've been begging for. Discomfort is the toll you pay for purpose. You can't buy growth with ease. You earn it with effort, with sweat, with persistence when quitting would be easier. The mind will scream for comfort, but the soul knows better. The soul only sings when you step beyond the familiar. There's a reason discomfort feels like fire, because it burns away what no longer serves you. The lies, the limitations, the laziness. But on the other side of that fire, discipline, direction, power. This is the truth most never learn. The longer you avoid discomfort, the longer you delay your destiny. Because your mission won't be found where it's easy. It lives where it's hard, where you're stretched, where you're forced to become more than you were yesterday. So the next time you feel that tightening in your chest, that hesitation in your step, that voice in your head saying, maybe this isn't for me, hear this instead. This is where I rise. Don't run from discomfort. Follow it. Because pain is not punishment. It is preparation. And discomfort is not the end of your path. It's the beginning of your rise. Most people are waiting for a sign, waiting for permission, waiting for clarity. But the universe does not hand out roadmaps to the hesitant. It reveals itself only to the committed. That is the secret few understand. Clarity comes after commitment, not before. You don't get to see the whole staircase. You just have to take the first step. Think of a ship in harbor. The wheel doesn't work if the ship isn't moving. You can turn it left, right, spin it all day. But unless the vessel is in motion, direction means nothing. That's your life. You're trying to steer your purpose while sitting still. It doesn't work like that. Life reveals its direction only to those who move. You didn't need to know how to walk before you took your first step. As a child, you wobbled, you fell, and still you moved forward. And through movement, mastery began. Your destiny works the same way. You act first, you adjust as you go. If you're waiting for clarity to strike like lightning, you'll be stuck in the same place a year from now, wondering why nothing has changed. Let's look at Howard Schultz, the man who built Starbucks into a global phenomenon. When he first had the vision to bring European-style coffee culture to America, no one understood it. Investors turned him down. Friends called it a fantasy. Even his own colleagues lacked faith. But Schultz didn't wait for the perfect plan. He committed. He started small. He opened one and then another. Clarity came through action. One conversation, one coffee bean, one customer at a time. Here's the psychology. The brain craves certainty. It wants to protect you. That's why it screams for more information before letting you leap. But purpose is not born in comfort. It's born in movement. Clarity doesn't descend from heaven. It rises from the trenches. And there's a deeper truth. Indecision is the illusion of safety, but it's really a slow death. Opportunities don't wait for you to feel ready. They pass by those who hesitate. They reward those who dare to jump without knowing where they'll land. Make the decision. Start the project. Write the first line. Launch the idea. No, you won't have all the answers. You're not supposed to. Answers are earned in the doing. So if you're paralyzed by the unknown, here's your breakthrough. Don't seek clarity. Create it. Build it with action. Chase it with fire. Trust that the fog will lift as you walk forward. Because once you commit fully, fearlessly, the path begins to appear. Doors open. Resources emerge. People align. And what once felt uncertain becomes undeniable. But only after you move. So today, don't wait for clarity to bless your comfort. Commit, and let your courage carve the way forward. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are being forged. And that is a distinction that will define whether you rise with purpose or retreat in shame. The world wants you to measure your worth by timelines, by milestones, by the illusion of speed. It wants you to scroll through curated success and feel like you failed before you've even begun. But real greatness doesn't come quickly. It is carved, not granted. It is forged, not found. And the process, it's not glamorous. It's not public. It's often slow, lonely, and silent. But that silence is sacred. That delay is divine. Because while it looks like you're being left behind, you're actually being built. You are being refined in the fire so that when the time comes you don't just show up. You dominate. Consider the story of Colonel Harlan Sanders. At 65 years old, with just a Social Security check and a dream, he traveled across America pitching his fried chicken recipe. He was rejected over 1,000 times. 1,000. Most would have quit, but he understood something most never learn. Timing belongs to the mission, not the ego. And by the time he built KFC into a global empire, he wasn't just successful. He was unstoppable, because he had been forged. Now think about your own life. Every detour you've taken, every delay you've endured, every no you've swallowed, they are not signs of failure. They are tools of formation. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. The trials you're facing now, they are shaping the strength you'll need for what's next. Psychologically, the mind struggles with patience because it cannot see what's forming in the unseen. The subconscious equates delay with danger. But the soul, your deeper self, knows better. It knows that diamonds require pressure. That steel must be tempered in fire. That true power isn't rushed. It's tested. And you, my friend, are being tested not to break you but to build you. So the next time you look around and feel like you're falling behind, pause, zoom out. You are not on their timeline. You're on a mission-specific journey, a custom path, and every second you spend comparing it to someone else's is a second stolen from your own evolution. Remember, the seed doesn't bloom when the world watches. It roots itself in darkness. It grows in silence. Then when the season is right, it bursts through the soil with force, but only after it's been forged beneath the surface. You are not running late. You are rising right on time. So hold your head high. Walk with intention. Trust the delay. Because when you finally arrive, it won't be by accident. It will be by design. And the world won't see someone who lagged behind. They'll see someone who rose, ready. You were not born to be liked. You were born to leave a legacy. And the sooner you choose purpose over popularity, depth over dopamine, the sooner your life begins to matter, truly matter. We are living in an age of empty applause, a world where people trade their authenticity for attention, their principles for followers, and their soul for statistics. But here's the truth. Likes fade, shares vanish, algorithms change, but legacy outlives you. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't give his "I have a dream" speech for views. He spoke, knowing that his words could cost him everything. He wasn't chasing relevance. He was chasing righteousness. And now, decades later, his voice still echoes in the halls of history, not because he was liked, but because he was true. Legacy doesn't trend. Legacy transforms. And you are being tempted every day to water yourself down, to post what's safe, to say what's popular, to do what will get quick applause instead of lasting respect. But the mission you've been given is not about being seen. It's about making an impact that outlasts the noise. Psychologically, we are wired to crave approval. The brain lights up when we're validated. But that reward is short-term. It's surface level. And over time, it becomes an addiction. You start performing for praise. You start shaping your identity around reactions. And before long, you're no longer leading your life. You're curating it for applause. But legacy asks a harder question. What are you willing to do when no one claps? When no one watches? When no one posts your name? Are you still willing to build? Still willing to speak? Still willing to lead? Because that's what real leaders do. Look at Mother Teresa. She didn't post photos with orphans to gain followers. She lived her mission in silence, in the trenches, in the shadows, long before the world noticed. And yet her name lives on. Why? Because she chose service over spotlight. She chose legacy over life. So here's your challenge. Stop asking, how many are watching? Start asking what they'll remember. Will they remember you for noise, or for impact, for performance, or for principle? It is easy to go viral. It is rare to matter. It is easy to entertain. It is rare to transform. It is easy to chase the crowd. It is rare to carry a vision so deep that even if no one sees it, you still live it. You will not be remembered for how many liked you. You will be remembered for what you stood for when it wasn't easy to stand. You will be remembered for the seeds you planted, not the attention you harvested. So today, decide, will you build something that gets applause today, or something that echoes forever? Because in the end, legacy doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being real, unshakably, unapologetically, relentlessly real. Every person walking this earth has a mission buried inside them, a purpose that cannot be bought, borrowed, or manufactured. But in a world addicted to shortcuts, that mission is constantly under threat. Because if you don't protect it, someone will try to purchase it. Your mission is not for sale. But let me tell you, there will come a time when compromise will knock, when money will whisper, when shortcuts will seduce you with promises of ease, speed, and applause. And it'll sound like an opportunity, but it's really a test. Because the moment you trade your mission for convenience, you've sold your future for a discount. Do you remember Judas? He sold out the greatest mission the world had ever seen for 30 pieces of silver, 30 coins in exchange for eternal regret. That's not just a story from scripture. It's a warning etched in time. Every person has their 30 coins. The question is, what's your price? What would make you abandon your conviction? What would make you rewrite your integrity? Too many people build dreams and then hand them away for a quick payout. They change their voice, dilute their message, sell their values to align with trends they don't even believe in. All for what? A flash of attention, a temporary win. But what is profit if you lose yourself in the process? Howard Thurman once said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive. And go do that." The world doesn't need more copies. It needs creators with conviction. But conviction has a cost. And when that cost comes due, you'll have to decide, are you building something eternal or just marketable? Think of Steve Jobs. He was fired from the company he built, Apple, because he refused to compromise on vision. He could have softened, played the politics, kept his seat, but he stayed true. And when he returned, he didn't just build products, he redefined the future. Because he didn't sell his mission, he refined it. The psychology is simple. The human mind craves validation, ease, and reward. It's wired for survival, not significance. That's why staying true to your mission often feels like suffering. But that suffering is sacred, because anything that can be bought isn't truly yours. But what you earn through endurance, that becomes your identity. You must treat your mission like royalty. Guard it, honor it, refuse to sell it for applause, comfort, or compromise. If the vision came to you, it belongs to you, and you must protect it with everything you have. So when the offer comes, and it will pause and ask, does this elevate my mission, or dilute it? Does this align with my soul, or betray it? Because the world will offer you a crown, but if that crown costs your calling, it is nothing but a chain. Your mission is not for sale. Not now, not ever. And if you truly live by that, nothing and no one can stop you. The richest place in the world is not a bank. It's not Wall Street. It's not Silicon Valley. It's a graveyard. Because that is where dreams are buried. That is where untold stories, unwritten books, unlaunched ideas, and unsung songs lie beneath the dirt. Most people die with their mission still inside them. Not because they were incapable, but because they were afraid. Afraid of failing. Afraid of judgment. Afraid of standing alone. So they silenced their calling to fit into a world that rewarded conformity. They buried their brilliance under layers of fear, doubt, and delay, until it was too late. And you're still alive, which means your mission still has a chance. But if you don't act now, you may find yourself standing at the end of your life, with one final question echoing in your mind. What if I had just tried? That question is more haunting than failure, because failure teaches you something. But regret gives you nothing but silence. How many people told themselves, one day I'll write that book, but never wrote a word? How many dreamed of launching a business, changing a community, or healing a broken system, but let the weight of other people's opinions crush their vision before it ever took form? Don't let that be. Steve Jobs once said, remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. Most people live like they have time. They don't. You don't. Time is not promised, and your mission won't wait forever. It will wither if neglected. It will decay inside your soul, until all that's left is resentment. Resentment for the life you could have lived but never did. Psychologically, fear is a mechanism designed to protect us. It exaggerates risk and downplays reward. It tricks the brain into believing safety is more valuable than significance. But your mission was not meant to be safe. It was meant to be seen, to be lived, to be released into the world with full force, even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, even if you walk alone. Think of Vincent van Gogh. He died believing he was a failure. Only one of his paintings sold in his lifetime. But he painted anyway. He poured his soul onto canvas, with no promise of applause. And now, the world hangs his art in the finest museums, because his mission lived long after he died. The difference, he gave it away. He didn't hoard it. He expressed it. So the question is not whether you have a mission. You do. The question is whether you'll share it or take it to the grave. You were not born to die full. You were born to die empty, used up, poured out, with nothing left unlived. Don't wait. Don't stall. Don't leave this world with your greatness still trapped inside. Set it free before it's too late. When life pulls you away from the crowd, when the phone goes silent, when the room gets quieter and the applause stops, you begin to wonder, did I lose my way? But what if isolation isn't a curse? What if it's the exact preparation you need to fulfill your mission? You see, the world moves fast, loud, crowded. Everyone is performing, promoting, proving, and in that noise, you can forget who you are. But isolation strips all that away. It removes the distractions. It silences the voices. It separates you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Moses didn't receive his mission in Pharaoh's palace. He received it in the wilderness, alone, separated, humbled. And through that isolation, he was made ready to lead millions. Look at every great figure in history. There is always a period of solitude. Martin Luther King Jr. spent nights in jail. Mandela spent decades in a prison cell. Christ went to the desert. Even inventors, artists, and leaders go through their dark nights, nights where no one believes, no one sees, and no one understands. But that is where their roots grew deep. Because here's the psychological truth. When you are isolated, your identity is tested. You can no longer lean on praise, titles, or relationships to tell you who you are. You are forced to meet yourself. And in meeting yourself, you confront your mission raw, without filters. The modern world views isolation as a flaw. If you're alone, you must be broken. If no one calls, you must be failing. But sometimes the silence isn't abandonment. It's alignment. The universe pulling you away so you can hear the call without static. Think of Steve Jobs when he was removed from Apple, the company he founded. At the time, it looked like a fall from greatness. But in that solitude, he founded Next and led Pixar to creative dominance. And when he returned to Apple, he didn't come back bitter. He came back brilliant, because the isolation refined him. The same will be true for you. Don't curse the quiet. Don't rush to fill the silence. Sit and listen to it. Let it shape you. Let it teach you what applause never could. Isolation reveals two things: who you are when no one is watching, and who you're becoming when no one is applauding. That's where authenticity is born. That's where power is forged. That's where the voice inside grows louder than the noise outside. So if you're walking through a season where it feels like you've been forgotten, understand this. You're not being hidden from the world. You're being hidden for it. You are not being left behind. You are being launched. Because the greatest missions are not given in the spotlight. They are whispered in solitude, only to those strong enough to stand alone before they lead others. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Motivation will lie to you. It will give you a burst of energy one moment and disappear the next. One day you're ready to change the world. The next, you're scrolling through your phone, wondering what happened to that fire. That's because motivation is a mood. Conviction is a mindset. And until you replace your hunger for motivation with an unshakable commitment to conviction, you'll keep starting and stopping forever, chasing a feeling that was never meant to lead you. Motivation is an emotion. Conviction is a decision. Everyone loves to move when it's easy. When the music is playing, the crowd is cheering, the energy is high. Of course you feel motivated. But what about the days when it's quiet, when it's raining, when no one claps, no one notices, no one cares? That's where motivation dies, and conviction takes over. Conviction is what makes you move even when it hurts, even when you're tired, even when quitting would make more sense on paper. Conviction is built on identity. It's built on truth, and truth, once internalized, doesn't waver. Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, wrote that those who survived the camps weren't the strongest. They were the ones with a reason, a why, a conviction that life still held meaning. He endured unspeakable loss, starvation, but even in that hell, he chose to serve others, to listen, to help, because his mission was greater than his pain. That's the difference. Motivation says, I feel like it. Conviction says, I do it regardless. Think of athletes at the highest level. Do you think Olympians always wake up feeling inspired? No, but they train anyway. Because gold isn't won by feelings, it's won by discipline, backed by deep, internal commitment. Conviction. The reason so many people fail is not because they lack talent. It's because they rely on emotions to carry them to the finish line. But emotions are unstable. They shift with the weather. Conviction, though, it's like bedrock. It doesn't move. Psychologically, your brain wants dopamine. Motivation gives it. But conviction demands delayed gratification. It says no to comfort in the moment, so you can say yes to greatness later. That's what separates leaders from followers, builders from browsers, those who endure from those who fade. So how do you develop conviction? You decide, not once, but every day. You connect your actions to something deeper than applause. You ask yourself, what do I stand for when no one's watching? What would I still do if I knew no one would ever praise me for it? That's where your conviction lives. Don't chase feelings. Build standards. Build ritual. Build a life that runs on decisions, not emotion. Because motivation may get you started, but only conviction will make sure you finish. And in the end, it won't be the loudest, flashiest, most motivated voice that wins. It will be the one who never stopped, because they knew their mission was non-negotiable. Greatness doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't stand in line. It doesn't raise its hand, hoping someone else will say, yes, you're allowed now. It moves, boldly, unapologetically. And if you're still waiting for someone to give you the green light to chase your destiny, you've already delayed it too long. No one is coming to crown you. No one is coming to knock on your door and say, it's your turn. You have to decide. You have to declare. And you have to move as if you've already been chosen. Because you have. The moment that vision hit your heart, the moment that dream whispered in your soul, you were called. But too many people wait to be recognized before they begin. That's backwards. You don't get recognized until you move. Consider Oprah Winfrey, born into poverty, abused, overlooked. She didn't come from fame. She didn't come from privilege. But she decided she was worth something before the world ever did. She stepped into spaces where no one looked like her and said, I belong here. And because she stopped asking for permission, she made space for millions. That's the mindset. The psychology is simple. The brain is conditioned to seek social proof. We want evidence. We want someone to say, yes, you're good enough. But if you wait for that, if you need applause before you start, you'll never start at all. The people who changed the world didn't wait to be understood. They moved in spite of misunderstanding. They acted before anyone else believed, sometimes even before they fully believed. Because faith isn't born from outside validation. It's born from internal alignment. There's a reason so many people die full of regret. They live their lives waiting for approval, waiting for permission, waiting to feel ready. But the truth is, no one is ready. No one has all the answers. Greatness is not a moment of arrival. It's a moment of decision. Think of Rosa Parks. One decision, one seat. She didn't ask if she was allowed to defy injustice. She simply stopped asking for permission to be treated with dignity. And that single act shifted the course of history. You don't need another degree, another nod, another go-ahead. You need to decide that who you are, and what you carry, is enough to start. Every second you wait for permission is a second you rob the world of your gift. Every moment you stall is a moment your mission stalls with you. Greatness doesn't beg, it builds. It walks into the room like it belongs, because it does. So stop seeking validation from people who don't have the power to define you. Stop waiting for applause before you speak, act, create. You don't need permission to be great. You just need to stop pretending you were ever meant to be anything less. A job is something you do for a paycheck. A mission is something you do because your soul can't stay silent. A job fills time. A mission fills purpose. And once you realize that your mission isn't just what you do, it's why you exist, everything about how you show up changes. Most people walk through life counting hours, punching clocks, trading energy for income. But a mission doesn't punch in and out. It doesn't take weekends off. It's a responsibility etched into your spirit. It says, this thing must be done, and I've been chosen to do it. You see, a job gives you tasks. A mission gives you a calling. And when you're called to something, you can't ignore it. It keeps you up at night. It speaks to you in the quiet. Follows you into every room. Because it's not just a career, it's a conviction. Mother Teresa didn't clock into service. She didn't hand out love like it was labor. She lived her mission, whether the world watched or not, whether the money came or not. Her responsibility wasn't to recognition, it was to the people she served. Your life should feel the same. When you wake up each day, it's not just another morning, it's another opportunity to fulfill a piece of what you were born to do. But if you treat your calling like a job, you'll miss the sacredness of the assignment. Psychologically, when we categorize something as a job, the mind detaches emotionally. We go into autopilot. We do just enough. We coast. But a mission activates a different part of the brain. It triggers identity. It triggers passion. It fuels a sense of urgency, not panic, but purpose. This is why burnout hits so hard for those disconnected from meaning. They work and work, but there's no why beneath the weight. But when you anchor your actions in mission, even the hard days feel worth it. Even the pain feels sacred. Elon Musk doesn't build rockets just to make money. His mission is to make humanity multiplanetary. That mission pushes him past exhaustion, past failure, past fear. He's not working. He's answering a call. And when you're answering a call, resistance becomes fuel, not friction. This is your reminder. Your mission was assigned to you for a reason. You weren't given your specific gifts, ideas, voice, and experiences just to file reports and collect checks. You were given them to solve something, to create something, to change something. And that's not a job description. That's a sacred responsibility. So stop asking, what do I have to do today? And start asking, what part of my mission will I fulfill today? Because when you treat your calling with the weight it deserves, mediocrity dies. Excellence becomes your default. This world doesn't just need more workers. It needs more warriors. People who understand that the mission is too important to treat casually. Your mission isn't a job. It's a responsibility. Own it like everything depends on it. Because it